Okay, let's try this again. Even when you think you've got it, you come to learn there's still more to be added. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 287. This is the one about Jeet Kune's common thread. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you are able to hear me, please let me know that also when you do log in. Hey, Terry, can you hear me, Terry? I'm assuming that everything's good. Just give me a quick note there. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do, considering that the sound is working, good one. Okay, good. The best thing you can do then is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcasts. All right, so you probably recall a couple of weeks ago, I put this post up. It's a passage from Sifu Dan's Jeet Kune Art and Philosophy, a Bruce Lee book. And I guess the two things that set people off were the part where it says there's always something to be added. And then also at the end here where it says the main purpose is the preservation of the common thread that binds it all together. And so most people reading those things would believe that they understand exactly what it's saying, right? Well, but if I rephrase that, I would rephrase it because it's only the open-minded JKD people who would think so, who would think that they understand what it's saying. The closed-minded Jeet Kune people who think that JKD is late stage, 4 kicks and 4 punches, finger jab to the eye, side kick to the knee, mobility and footwork. That is the entire encompassing of Bruce Lee. They wouldn't get it at all. So it's us open-minded JKDers who might be tempted when we examine this idea of common thread. We might talk about stuff like the preservation of centerline, lead weapon dominance, economy of motion, etc., etc. But when you stop to think, what we've done there is to identify some valid principles for sure, but we haven't defined the common thread. But don't get me wrong here. I am not saying that we dispense with the idea. I'm not saying that we dispense with those valid principles at all. But we do have to dig a little bit deeper in order to understand and find out more about how we got to this point. So I bring this up because, as is evidence here on Facebook, not so much on the YouTube, a lot of people talk about JKD, but it is evident that they do not understand what they're saying. They don't understand where what they're saying came from, because very often it's not their own words, it's the words of someone else. And so they don't know the origin of that, and they don't even know why these people are saying what they say. Now, on the other hand, fortunately for me, I get to spend time with what I consider, or who I consider to be one of the greatest JKD minds out there, and that is my favorite Canadian senior, Cass Magda. Now, many of you will recognize the name. Some of you might not. If you don't, I might suggest I suggest that you go look him up. And one of the things that you'll probably come across most readily would be something like this. So this is a picture at Cass's school. This is probably over 20 years old, but this is Chris Kent, Bob Bremer, Tim Tackett, Daniel Lee, and Ted Wong. And this is probably one of the frequent gatherings of the disbanded, whatever, of the JKD nucleus. And so these guys in various iterations were always at Cass's school. They were always hanging out at Cass's school, doing workshops there, doing seminars there, or what have you, right? So let me get to it. Let me imagine this scenario, right? So I use an entry technique, whether it's an attack or a counterattack, right? I use follow-up techniques and a finishing technique. And so let's say that the entry technique was a kick. Follow-up couple of punches, and then the finishing technique was a takedown into like a restraint or a choke or something. What would they all have in common? Because a kick is not a punch, and neither of them are a takedown. So what would be the common thread? Here's a second scenario. Let's say we asked 10 guys in a room to show us an armbar. And this actually, something like this did happen many years ago up in Atlanta at a Sifu dance seminar. So we asked 10 guys to show us an armbar. But everybody has to show us a different armbar from the guy before him. So what would we come up with? We would come up with 10 different armbars, right? Or we should. But they must all have something in common because they're all arm bars. So what would be that thing that they have in common? It would be leverage against the joint and a straightened arm, correct? In the first scenario, go back to the kick followed by punch followed by takedown. What's the common thread? See, it's harder to distinguish there. You see, because we're not talking about a single technique. We're talking about a blend, a technical sequence. The common thread there, right, when you identify it, would be forward pressure. You see, so I hope that it's important to get this, because there's a difference between the common principles and the common thread. An armbar, 10 different arm bars would have common principles: leverage and a straightened limb. Those naturally exist. The common principles naturally exist. But in the common thread, that one is a tool for analysis, and it helps you to see how things can flow together. And that is the essential difference between common principles and common thread, and especially if you're looking for a definition of the common thread. And while we're on this, I just want to say one more thing to the Inosano bashers out there. If Inosano and his people don't know anything about JKD, then why would people like Ted Wong and Dan Lee and Bob Bremer and Tim Tackett, why would they love hanging out with someone like Cass Magda, who is a top student of Dan Inosano? Food for thought. Okay, and what say you? Do you get now the idea behind common principles and the definition for common thread? Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all I got to say about this video. I could not resume yesterday. I was under heavy manners with the dudette, so couldn't resume. So if you like what you heard, maybe if you even learned something, please comment, rate, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support the program, there are various ways. You can go to paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami, and that's where the Jeet Kune Journey Volume 1 is available. paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami. I just found out that I'll tell you about it another time. Maybe when I talk to Billy Brown tomorrow, because he's a Floridian as well. So I just got some news about something else, right? The other another way to support me is at jkdrebel.com. Click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this. The 4 tenets of Jeet Kune coffee mug, also available in t-shirt form. But like I said earlier, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. All right, so that's it for today. So 6 p.m. tomorrow, another episode of the Jeet Kune Dialogues with Billy Brown. Today is a pastel day, so I went with the little beige thing there. All right, so I'll see some of you tomorrow. If not, see you next week for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. In any case, until next time, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel, signing off. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Let me see, who's Russell here? I think I saw Russell come on. Yeah, so Russell, you know, down here in Miami, it's Kali Thursday, so we're going to look at some stages of Sombrata today, different stages of Sombrata, And then we're going to take a look at numerata progressions also. So just so you know what you're missing, Russell. All right, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk soon.